Hey everyone, welcome back to the Movie Vault. My name is Rob. It's good to see you guys back here on the channel. Today's video we are doing my top 10 picks, horror picks for the 2010s. There is 2 rules to this video before you get into it. Don't forget, this is just my picks, subjective. You don't have to like the picks, you don't have to agree with them, but this is just my picks. Rule number 2 is I have to have the movie on physical media in the collection, in the Movie Vault here. So keep that in mind as we move forward. So before we get into the video, I'm going to ask you guys, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do so and consider hitting the bell to get notified every time I post a new video. If you like kind of movie lists like this, we're going to go through a bunch of decades, horror movies from the decades, and movie reviews, movie hauls, all that sort of good stuff here on the channel. So with all that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, so number 1 up here on the list. These are not in any particular order, it's just the way I have them. I will be looking down because I have some notes here. So first one up is actually the Netflix series. This is The Haunting of Hill House. This is the Blu-ray copy I picked up, imported from Amazon. Fantastic stuff. Let me just tell you a little bit about this. So this is 2018. This features extended director's cuts of various episodes. It has the slip there. It's 3 discs. They're roughly about an hour an episode. So kind of roughly works out for about 10 hours of watching. So let me talk to you guys quickly about this. Directed by Mike Flanagan, done a fantastic job. Cast is absolutely huge cast this, so bear with me here. Michelle Huisman, hopefully I'm pronouncing some of these right. I apologize if I am not pronouncing them right. Carla Gugino, Henry Thomas, Elizabeth Reeser is in there, Oliver Jackson Cohen, Kate Siegel, Victoria Pedretti, Lulu Wilson, McKenna Grace, Paxton Singleton, Julian Hilliard, Violet McGraw and Timothy Hutton. That's your main cast. So this takes place over 2 kind of time periods. You know, haunted house kind of thing, where obviously, you know, Haunting of Hill House is the title. There is the cast of kids, and then there's the kids growing up, the adults. And as I said, Netflix series, 10 episodes, fantastic stuff, amazing series. Really enjoyed it the first time I watched it. It's beautifully shot, beautifully done. It's scary, it's sad, it's heartbreaking all at once. It's fantastic stuff. I really can't speak any more highly of it. And it's a fantastic cast as well. And I just want to point out some cast standouts for me. Carla Gugino is fantastic as the mother. Victoria, the 2 actresses who play the character Nell or Nellie, Violet McGraw is the little kid, she's brilliant, and Victoria Pedretti plays the adult Nell, the grown-up Nell. They're both fantastic, and Oliver Jackson Cohen plays the adult Luke, and he does some fantastic work, kind of acting work going through, like, you know, being a drug addict and stuff. Really, really brilliant. I can't speak any more highly of this, and I really do recommend. So this is number 1 up on the list, The Haunting of Hill House. Number 2 on the list is going to be 2018's Halloween. We go back to the franchise at last. Directed by David Gordon Green, of course. Cast here includes Jamie Lee Curtis, Judy Greer, Andy Matichak, and James Jude Courtney. We also see some a guest appearance in there by Nick Castle as the Shape, Michael Myers. Fantastic stuff. So despite yet another timeline in the Halloween franchise, I'm a big fan of Halloween. It's my favorite horror franchise. You guys know that here on the channel. So despite another kind of, you know, another swerve on another timeline, David Gordon Green delivered a fantastic movie here. And of course, we know now that there's going to be Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, isn't it the next 2? So this is going to be like kind of this will be a trilogy based off of the 78 Halloween. They delivered a great movie, as I mentioned, and they somehow managed to convince Jamie Lee Curtis to come back, and even more importantly for fans of John Carpenter like myself, they convinced John to come back on. I think, wasn't he like an executive producer and like a consultant, and of course he done the score and the music in there as well. So fantastic stuff to see John and Jamie Lee back in the Halloween franchise. So that was number 2 up on the list, Halloween 2018. Number 3 up on the list here is a 2015 movie. This is brilliant, The Witch. Fantastic horror movie here. So this is the 4K UHD I have here in the slip. Again, I imported this off of Amazon. So let me tell you about this again. Directed by Robert Eggers. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I believe he's done The Lighthouse recently. I haven't seen that yet. Cast on this one, fantastic stuff. Anya Taylor-Joy, Ralph Ineson, Kate Dickey, and Harvey Scrimshaw is your main cast. So this is a brilliant like horror period movie. I don't have a lot of those kind of in the collection here, and it's just done really well. I like the look of it. It has a fantastic look to the movie. 4K looks great. We don't have many of those kind of olden times horror movies these days, so I just really kind of liked it. And the lead actress is great there, Anya Taylor-Joy. Fantastic stuff. I love the ending of this movie. I won't give anything away, but it keeps you kind of guessing all the way till the end. And yeah, brilliant ending. So I highly recommend this one as well. The Witch is number 3. So number 4 on my list here is from 2019. It's Midsommar, the madness of Midsommar. So this is directed by Ari Aster, of course. Casting here includes Florence Pugh, Jack Rayner, William Jackson Harper, and Wilhelm Blomgren. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Yeah, just one of those weird, they go off to Sweden, isn't it? And it's kind of a cult. And I didn't see this movie in the cinema, and I picked up the Blu-ray here, which of course it's actually a 2-disc, so it gives you the theatrical cut and the director's cut as well. So I didn't watch the theatrical cut at all, just went straight for the director's cut. I heard good things about it, and it's absolute madness. The running time is director's cut is 170 minutes. It's 10 minutes short of 3 hours. It's just crazy. Unbelievable movie. It's like a car crash. You can't stop watching. You can't look away. It keeps getting more and more bizarre as it goes along, and builds and builds and builds. And it's just a wild ride movie, this one. And you know, mostly kind of a daytime horror, which is kind of interesting to see as well. So definitely recommend this one if you haven't seen it. Midsommar is number 4 on the list. Number 5 up here on the list is a 2018 movie again, The Strangers Prey at Night. This is an unrated Blu-ray version that I've picked up again online. Fantastic stuff. Directed by Johannes Roberts, and cast includes Christina Hendricks, Martin Henderson, Bailey Madison, and Lewis Pullman. I'm a big fan of the original Strangers movie. I think it's really well done. This is a good sequel. It has a really cool setting, kind of the empty, like holiday home, holiday park. You know, it's the set for this movie. I thought it was a really good idea. The swimming pool scene I love. It has a cool kind of 80s music kind of soundtrack throughout the film. Really, really cool. And as I spoke before about the original Strangers, like I think there's something really creepy about just 3 masked strangers, you know, kind of stalking you without any reason, not saying a word other than knocking at the door and asking, is so-and-so here? Like, that's really, really cool. So yeah, so that's the number 5 pick for me here, The Strangers Prey at Night. Number 6 here, another fantastic movie, 2014. This is It Follows. Brilliant stuff, directed by David Robert Mitchell. This one is. Cast includes Micah Monroe, Kier Gilchrist, Daniel Zavato, and Jake Weary. I really like the idea of this one. Great concept, good idea. You know, basically after a date and they kind of, you know, the girl sleeps with the guy, this kind of it starts following her around. You have to sleep with someone to pass it on to somebody else. And it's just crazy, crazy stuff. There's a cool soundtrack to it. I have the soundtrack on vinyl in the collection here. I really enjoyed that one. Just an interesting type of horror movie, I thought, once I saw it. Not everybody can see it in the film, only the person who has slept with the other person. And there's a really cool beach scene where it kind of grabs somebody by the hair, and it's really awesome. I don't want to give too much away, but do check this one out if you haven't seen it. It Follows is my number 6 pick. Number 7 on my pick list is 2011's Hatchet II. Fantastic stuff here, directed by Adam Green. Cast includes the fantastic Danielle Harris, Tony Todd, Kane Hodder, Parry Shane, R.A. Milahoff, and John Carl Buechler is in here as well, rest his soul. This is a good old-fashioned practical effects horror movie. Takes up right after the first Hatchet movie. And great horror cast, as I mentioned in there, you know, Danielle Harris, Tony Todd, Kane Hodder, R.A. Milahoff from Texas, from Leatherface, I think, Texas Chainsaw 3. John Carl Buechler, the legendary horror special effects makeup artist, director. He's in there in a small role, and lots of cool kills, lots of blood. There's some funny comedy spots in there as well I really enjoy, and it gives some of the backstory of Victor Crowley as well. So if you're not familiar with the Hatchet, there's a Hatchet trilogy, Hatchet 1, 2 and 3, and I believe there was a 4th movie, Victor Crowley, for some reason wasn't called Hatchet 4. But yeah, that's my number 7 pick on the list here, Hatchet 2. My number 8 pick is 2010's The Last Exorcism. I have a Blu-ray copy here, fantastic stuff. Directed by Daniel Stamm. Cast includes Patrick Fabian, Ashley Bell, Iris Baher, and Louis Hertum. Documentary style horror. I thought it was really well done. I kind of like that. It's basically like the story of a preacher, or like a family of preachers and family of exorcists. And this guy kind of loses his faith, and he decides to invite in this film crew, and he's going to expose exorcisms as, you know, this fake thing. And a really interesting take. He's going to blow the lid on everything until he goes to exorcise this girl out on a farm, like a rural farm. Ashley Bell is fantastic in this movie, and basically it turns real, and it has a crazy twist ending to it. I really enjoyed it, and I rewatched it recently and I completely forgot about the twist ending. So this is my number 8 pick on the list, The Last Exorcism from 2010. My number 9 pick here is 2019's Satanic Panic. Fantastic stuff. This is an Arrow video release. As you can see, here is the Blu-ray copy. Directed by Chelsea Stardust. Great cast in this one, actually. Hayley Griffith, Ruby Modine, Rebecca Romaine, Jerry O'Connell, Arden Moran, and Jeff Daniel Phillips in this one. Nice horror comedy, nice mixture of both. It's basically about a pizza delivery girl who delivers some pizzas out to kind of like a rich mansion area, and she kind of stumbles into a cult. Let's just kind of leave it at that, because I don't want to spoil anything about this movie for you guys. But Hayley Griffith is great in the lead. I like her in this one. Practical effects, again, like you're going to see that a lot on my list here. I really like movies with practical effects. I don't like the digital stuff. Sometimes it just looks bad. All practical in this looks great. It's a Fangoria film, or produced or presented by Fangoria, if you're a fan of the magazine. And I want to give a quick shout out, a quick mention of Arden Moran in this. She's hilarious in this. She's been in a couple of other movies, and I thought she was great in this, really funny. Jerry O'Connell is good in there. He's a funny kind of quick role, and Rebecca Romaine is kind of the cult leader. She's fantastic in this. So that's my number 9 pick, Satanic Panic. Okay guys, so we're down to the last pick here. Number 10 for my 10 horror picks from 2010s is 2019's Rabid, directed by the Soska sisters. I'm a big fan of the Soska sisters. This would be one of their kind of, you know, wider released maybe movies, I guess. Fantastic stuff. I have the Blu-ray here from 101 Films. Cast in this one: Laura Vandervoort, Ben Hollingsworth, wrestling fans, CM Punk, aka Phil Brooks is in there, and Stephen McHalley. So this is a remake of the 70s movie Rabid, but this, you know, it has its own take in it. I think the Soska's done a fantastic job here of updating this, and they really kind of nailed the kind of body shock, body horror stuff with their other movies. But this is a fantastic mix of that, like kind of, you know, going mainstream as well. I really enjoyed this one. Laura Vandervoort is fantastic in the lead. I really like her in this one. It's cool to see CM Punk in that kind of asshole role. Great stuff. And the character Gunter, I believe is his name, the head of the fashion company guy. I thought he was hilarious the first time I saw this in the cinema. I thought he was hilarious, and hopefully that's supposed to come off like that, because he was just hilarious. Like his accent and everything was really cool about it. So that's my number 10 pick here for the 2010s horrors. So it was really tough to get this list together and kind of shorten it all down to 10. So I'm going to give you some quick bonus picks here, just some other recommendations. So speaking of number 10, the Soska sisters, I'm going to show you See No Evil 2. This is of course the follow-up to See No Evil 1. You have Kane, the wrestler, in there. This was directed by the Soskas again. Fantastic cast in this one. I know I keep saying that an awful lot, but Danielle Harris is in here. Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps is in there. Really cool cast. I really enjoyed this one, and yeah, I recommend that one. Another one up for me in the 2010s was Rob Zombie's 31. This is an Italian import. I really like Rob Zombie stuff. I really like Sherry Moon Zombie, and yeah, bloody and gory, and you know, fantastic movie there with 31. Next one up, I did review on the channel a good while ago. This is a movie called The Invitation. This is a Second Sight Films release. Really great, like slow build psychological thriller. You know, an ex-husband, his ex-wife invites him to a dinner party. It's kind of a strange thing, you know, their child has died previously, they've divorced. You know, is the wife in a cult? Is she not? Are they trying to recruit him? Are they not? Nice slow build, psychological, kind of a horror, fantastic stuff. Really recommend that one. Next one up, Hereditary. I didn't want to put Ari Aster in there twice. Of course, we had Midsommar in there, so we do recommend this one. I remember the first time I saw this, I was like, oh my god, I'll just say that scene, and then the movie just completely took a different turn for me. So Hereditary is another one. And we had The Haunting of Hill House as the number 1 pick in here. Not that numbers were based on rankings or anything like that, but I just also wanted to recommend another fantastic horror comedy series, Ash vs Evil Dead. This is the complete series box set, season 1, 2 and 3. If you like Evil Dead, you're going to love this series. So they are just some bonus picks here to kind of round off this video. Okay guys, so that does it for my 10 horror picks from the 2010s. If you're looking for Halloween movie recommendations, that's why I'm kind of going to do this series of videos. I will be doing one on every decade. So we're going to look at the 2000s, 1990s, 1980s, 1970s, and the pre-70s. So that's going to do it for the video, guys. Of course, if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I upload more of these videos, lists, the top 10 picks, horror picks, and reviews and hauls and all that sort of stuff. Don't forget to follow me on social media. Links are over in this corner. If you do follow me, I post regularly about what I've just been watching. If you don't want to wait for those watch list videos that I post where I kind of talk every 2-3 weeks about everything I've watched and reviews, you can check out quick reviews on my social media as I watch them. That's going to do it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you on the next one.